Good evening, everybody. Let's see, do I want this? Good evening. I'm gonna give everybody just a moment to get the notifications, even though Facebook ain't notifying most of y'all. So I guess it don't matter to wait. Let me put some water in my Keurig so I can make me a cup of coffee. And we're gonna get started. Let me know in the comment section how you're doing. Let me know how your Sunday is going. Let me know what you're cooking today. And I'm about to wrap up my kids' dinner. So far over here, you can probably see it. I made some rice for them. And I make extra rice all the time because my kids love rice. So they'll eat it with seasonings. They'll eat it with butter, you know, on days they're just hungry and just want a little snack. Here I have some green beans, and I'll give you all a close-up when the time comes. And then I have some assorted pork chops that we're going to season up. We're going to batter them up. And we're going to fry them up. And then I'm going to make a gravy, okay? So that's what we're doing. So take a minute to like and share if you care. If not, it's okay with me. I love you anyway. And we're going to get started. So I just got a pan here so I can just put my chops in. Just easier to season them front and back and get them all spread out. I got some chicken legs in there too that are thawed out and seasoned actually from last night. You all know I made the lemon pepper hot wings for the kids last night, but what you all didn't know is I also fried some chicken legs for Bella, but she had fallen asleep. So I still have some in there that I need to cook. Let me go push my Keurig. Okay, and I was kind of going back and forth with the seasoning choices because at first I was going to do a teriyaki and then I was going to do something else, but we're just going to do a basic seasoning. We're going to do, the reason I like to use this adobo, you all, is it has everything in it. It has your onion powder. It has your garlic powder. It has, you know, your salt, pepper, all that stuff. Well, this one has the pepper. This one does not. So that's why I like to use it or the Greek all-purpose. My palate is a little different as far as salt-wise. I do not like a lot of salt in my food. So I just like the flavor, okay? The saltiness, I can't take. I used to eat a lot of salt when I was young. And then over the years, I just grew accustomed to just needing flavor. And I let people add their own salt. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more onion and the garlic to that because they have their own measurement of what they use in their seasoning. But sometimes you want just a little more so you can taste the flavor. And it's really good when you can taste that onion and garlic powder, honey, in your fried chicken. What you say now? So we're going to add a little bit of that. And then let me see if I can find my garlic. And I like the granulated. I think one time somebody asked me that, you know, what was the difference between that and the powder. To me, this seems to stick more to the food. But hey, I could be wrong. I just like to use the granulated. And I'm going to look at y'all comments in just a minute. Honey. Hey, Allie. Hi, James. Hi, Icey. The video's frozen. Can you all see me or is it frozen? Somebody let me know. Now, if it's frozen for you, somebody type for him because he may not be able to hear me. You need to go out and come back in if it's frozen. If it's only frozen for one person. Because it could be just, you know, it could just be you. But if I'm frozen, you all let me know because I don't want to keep going if I'm frozen. Okay. Somebody said I can see it. Hey, Letitia. Okay, everybody say I'm good. Okay, so I don't know. It's probably that person that it froze up on. All right, let me wash my hands because I don't want to be touching my seasonings. I don't do that to tell you all that, but it's really a good practice because if you're seasoning your meat and you're using your hands, not gloves, you don't want to put your hand with that meat juice on it on your seasoning, okay? Because, I mean, that's just germs. So, like at church when I serve them, like today I served the turkey chef salads, but I have a ton of dressings that I have available for them, but I take them in the kitchen and I wash them all down because people's hands are on them and we just don't want the germs, right? We just want to make sure we're keeping things wiped down. think that's one of the things that freak me out about going out to eat. You know, you sit down at the table, there's these salt and pepper shakers. God knows who has touched them. There's the hot sauce, there's all these things. I'll just be freaked out. Like, oh my God. You know, because you don't want to be sitting there wiping down stuff. Then you're like the weirdo. Okay, so we have our adobo seasoning. If you missed that, this is a good base flavor that you can use. Another base flavor that I use, you all, is the Cavender's Greek all-purpose. This is really good. It has the peppery blend. It's more peppery. It has the onion and the garlic powder in it. It's really good. So it just depends on what I'm making, and the flavor that I'm going for is my choices. This is less potent than the other one though, the Cavender's. And then we have our onion and our garlic. Simple and easy. So we're gonna put these back. And then we're gonna get, when I flour my pork chops, I like to use just like a bag. So I like to get a freezer bag. Sometimes I'll pour the flour in a pan. I'm not gonna do that today because I'm gonna waste a lot of flour trying to get that coated. So I'm just gonna move this over. And we're just gonna add some flour to our freezer bag. And I just keep mine in a little canister. Let's see if I can see your comments. Hi, Miss Hackett. Hello, dear. Okay. So I'm just gonna add some flour into this little freezer bag here, y'all. Not too much. And I just like to use all-purpose flour, whatever is on sale, honey. Usually I end up with White Lily for some reason. So, hey, but I like all-purpose, all-purpose. And then I kept my adobo out because, of course, I'm gonna season that flour with that. And you could be more generous with this because this does not have a lot of sodium, unless you use a whole lot of it, which I don't. So maybe if you use a whole lot, it may be salty, but I've never got to that point, so I don't know. I can't tell you. It's just like with this, we're gonna use this for the gravy. Some people say it's salty. That means you're using it too much. You're using too much. So lighten up on it and you'll love the flavor, and it's not salty. All right, our grease is hot, so I'm gonna bring you all over here and I'm gonna show you, we got our green beans, you all. Well, I can't stir it for you, so I'll show it when I can stir it for you. Because our grease is hot, as y'all can see. It's hot, but it's right. So I have the grease on a number 6. Well, a number 7. So if you have one of my kind of stoves, a flat top, so we're not high, of course, and we're kind of just a little below medium high because we're going to be frying quite a few chops and we do not want them to burn. We don't want them to turn black. We don't want that flour at the bottom of the pan to be sticking to our pork chops. So we have to go to a lower heat. So keep that in mind when you're frying your chops. Just go lower on the heat. And I can go even a little lower. I'm gonna go to a number 6. And I'll show you what I mean. We'll be able to fry all these chops without burning them. Okay. They frying just right, you all. Hi, Patricia. And I can get one more over there in that corner. Let's see if I can get my tongue to move it over. And easy does it. Be gentle. There's no need to rush and throw it in the pan. Treat your food with love and it'll taste like love. Okay? Nice and easy with it. Okay, let's move this over here. Okay, they're frying pretty nice. Let me shake these other ones around so they'll be ready. But we're just going to fry them till they're done, okay? We're going to fry them for a few minutes on each side. We're going to take it out because we're going to make a gravy and let them simmer in that gravy, okay? Hey, Danico. And I'll see you rest of your time. Let me grab, I need to put these chops on. Hey, Lori. Hi, Crystal. Hey, Monet. Thank you all for hopping on. I want to know what y'all made for dinner or had for dinner tonight, because you don't have to cook, but did you go out to eat? Did someone cook for you? What was for dinner tonight? All right, let's check this one right here. Look how nice and golden that chop is. Remember, we're on number 6, okay? So if you're ever wondering why your pork chops are not that golden color, and maybe why your flour always falls off, you need to have the right temperature, not too high. Make sure the oil is all the way hot. And now we'll go back over with that one. Make sure it's all the way hot. And that's really all it is. We didn't use anything special. I didn't do my mustard fried chops today. I literally just washed my chops off. I seasoned them up, battered them up with that flour, and that's it. And we put it in the grease. And this is vegetable oil, okay? So there's nothing special to it. Okay, Maxine had fried chicken, homemade mac and cheese, and cabbage. Lala had Olive Garden, chicken Alfredo. Sounds good. Hi, Sharina West. Hi, dear. Joseph said, yum. Yolanda had chicken tenders and a few potatoes. Thank you, Yolanda, for watching. Sophia had fried cabbage, honey cornbread, yams, and pot roast. Wait a minute now, Sophia. Miss Thompson had pork chops, mashed taters, corn on the cob. Sounds good. Hi, Pat. Good evening. Thank you, dear. It's for my kiddos. Debbie had pie pies. Okay, now, I'm glad it was good. That's a blessing. Julie had Church's chicken. Mr. Is it Empolin? Aloha from Hawaii. Thank you for hopping on. Okay. So now, we're not going to cook them all the way, you all. But I'm going to give them just a few more minutes. And while they're cooking, I'll show you all. Get y'all that close up too. And these are just assorted chops. So for the kids, I had 1 can of whole green beans and 1 can of cut green beans. So they got a mixture of both. But I cooked them in my green seasoning and some butter. That's a great combo with a little bit of that adobo, which has that onion and garlic powder in it, honey. And then they just have their rice. So that stuff is already ready. So all we have to do is get the meat ready and that gravy. Let me see if I can see your comments. Thank you for the stars. Abundant blessings to you too, Kim. Thank you. Okay, Miss Conway went out to Texas Roadhouse. Double pork chops, green beans, and baked sweet potatoes. That sounds so good. Miss Anderson, fried chicken, cabbage, and yellow rice. Debbie had chicken feet and rice. I love chicken feet. I do. And I do. Somebody had okra. Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to get ready to take these out. I'm not going to turn that heat up. You see how clear how clean our grease is? We want to keep that going. We still have more chops to fry. So even though we only have a few more, even if we didn't, we can keep going as long as we stay at this heat, at this temperature. You don't have to worry about your grease burning. So let me shake these others up so we can get ready to take these out. These are very thin chops. That's why it's getting very quiet. Normally when you're frying any type of meat, it starts to get quiet as it's getting done. Okay, so keep that in mind. Even when you're frying chicken, it'll get real quiet when it's done. That's just another way you will know it's done. And because these are so thin, these are definitely near that point. So I'm going to leave that one in just a little longer, but I'm going to take the rest of these out. Because they do have to go in that gravy. So you see that chop, honey? Again, this is vegetable oil. We're cooking on a number 6. A number 6. All right, we're gonna throw those other ones in there. Those are nice and golden, honey. That's good for a pork chop sandwich. But my kids want gravy, so gravy is what they shall have. I don't know what Bella in there doing, y'all. Okay, that's the last one. I thought we had 4 more, but we had 3 more. Let me wash my hands. And don't worry about your flour. It's going to be just fine. You'll see when we take them on out. So here are those chops. And really, they can eat them. I'm going to put them in the gravy. But, I mean, those chops, they are done. I have some onions already cut up too, you all, for the gravy. That's there. And we're going to get that made in just a second. Yes, Ken. Ken said, that's right. Listen to the grease because it's going to let you know. And like I said, these are thin. I don't know if you saw them at the beginning. They're not thick chops. So thicker chops, of course, are going to take a little longer. But if you're just going to smother them and let them simmer in that gravy, you really don't have to cook your pork chops all the way through. You just need to get them at least halfway through. Go ahead and take them out that grease. Make your gravy and smother them in that. And then you can put them in the oven or let them cook on the top of the stove. And they'll be good to go. Lisa made turkey chops, yellow rice, and some bok choy. Oh, I haven't had yellow rice in so long. Sounds good. All of y'all meals sound good. It's a blessing to still be able to go out to eating good food. That's a blessing, like real talk. Thank you for the stars, Miss Charlotte. Shaniqua cooked barbecue turkey wings, yellow rice, and cabbage. Sounds delicious. Okay, so it's starting to cook. Of course, and bubble up. Man, oh man, I hate that I don't reuse grease. Because there's some good grease right here, honey. It's still nice and golden. That's okay, though. Shaniqua fried. Okay, fried. I tried the kids. Oh, you fried the kids some wings. Oh, I got you, Shaniqua. Got it. Yes, my kids enjoyed those lemon pepper hot wings last night, you all. I have to share. I recorded the video, but I haven't edited yet because you all know I had to prepare for my church. So I was up, preparing those, and I haven't edited the video yet. So once I get it edited, I will post that. You all have to make those lemon pepper hot wings. Charlena, it's just a choice. I just don't reuse grease. I don't think there's anything wrong with it per se, but I just don't. So if you were afraid of losing your flour, you see you didn't lose your flour. You still got a nice golden pork chop there. And we'll be ready to take those out in just a minute. Sheena cooked the same thing with biscuits. Sound good. My kids probably would want biscuits either. Miss Oshana, she says she don't reuse grease either. Or Miss Doshi. You know what, Miss Bryant? Gumbo sounds good, and I'll eat it any time of the year. Regina loves hers thin, her pork chops. Robert said, my grease gonna be used at least 3 times. I know that's right. And it's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with reusing it, y'all. I don't know why I'm like that, to be honest with you. I think it's a, you know how people have their things. So I just think it's a thing. So mentally, it's hard for me to reuse it because I feel like it's dirty. Does that make sense? So, I mean, people do it all the time, especially if you go out to eat. I know they reusing grease. I know they're reusing grease. I mean, and I used to work, if you've been following me, back in 2018, I worked at PDK. They reused the grease, and I was on the fryer. I knew how to drain that oil out. You know, you got to drain it out, clean the fryer, and you put that same grease right on back in there. So I know it's being reused from experience. So, I don't know. Just in my house, I don't. I'm sorry you lost your sister. I can't tell who it was, but I'm sorry for your loss. But you know what I do use? I do use bacon grease. Now, if I cook my bacon, you keep that in the cup. I got a cup of bacon grease on my countertop now. Okay, so these are just about ready to come out. And again, if you wanted to just go ahead and eat your pork chops fried, make a sandwich, you absolutely could. These are thin. So mine are really pretty much done. I mean, they're a done pork chop as far as temperature wise. Now, if you just want them to simmer in that gravy, that's all well and good as well. All right, flour, I need butter. Let me get my butter. So for this simple gravy, you need butter. I'm going to show you this beef broth base. I got a browner, and then you need whatever base seasoning you're going to use. That's totally up to you. I think I'm going to use the adobo with the pepper in it this time. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this simple gravy. We're not going to add any packets in it this time. I know sometimes I do that. And then I may add a little bit of cornstarch. We will see. This depends on how I feel about it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I like them to be at least kind of. I see that pork chop, honey. I'm going to take this one out. Get them just another. I guess it doesn't matter. They're going back in the gravy, but just in case. Sometimes my kids change their mind. They come in here and want a pork chop. So we're going to drain out the grease, but we're going to keep all that flavor in the pan, okay? So once I get those two out, let me see where I'm going to put my grease over here. I got a place. Yes. We'll put this right here. Okay. I got where I'm going to put it at. All right. It got quiet on this, so we're going to take these out. It's not on you. It's on the top, baby. You want to say hi? Say hello. Can I get a pickle? I knew you was going to ask for something. This is pork chop. I told y'all. Didn't I just say one of my kids may come in here and ask for some pork chop? That's why I made sure it was done. So you want this one right here? Want to grab that one? I literally just spoke this. And you can just say hi. Thank you. Hi. Parents know their kids. Trying to tell you. That's why I made sure they were completely done. So our chops are done. So let's drain this grease and we're gonna make our gravy. So let me put y'all right here so you can see those chops, honey. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm gonna make a gravy. Is that okay? I made rice and green beans. Okay. All right, I'm just pouring this grease over here. And then I'm gonna wipe my pan because it's trying to drip down the sides, honey. I don't know if y'all was on live at one time. A pot tried to catch on fire. I was like, what is going on? Why y'all want to do that to me on live? Okay. Oh, we have all of this amazing stuff in this pot. So there's our chops again. So let's go over here, you all, and make this gravy. I guess I can officially say hi. Hi, everybody. Okay. Let me see. Why is my stand doing this? Okay, we're gonna work with it. So we still have a little bit of oil in there, and that's completely okay. We're gonna add some butter. So I like to use, people always ask, I usually use unsalted. I don't think it makes a difference. I just like to use unsalted. I'm gonna put some of that in there. And then when I do start to stir in that flour, I'll just mute you guys so you're not listening to the scraping on my pan, because I have to use my wire whisk. Now the butter you use at your discretion. You actually don't have to use butter, but I like to use butter and oil, so it's up to you. We already have some oil in there, okay? Let's make sure we get all that flavor. I want all that in my pot. Okay, from those pork chops. I'm gonna turn it down back on a number 6. I'm also gonna add in a little oil. So if you're only using oil, just add oil. And we're gonna let this melt down. And then we're gonna add in our onions. Okay. And if you're doing this at home, honey, it's gonna start smelling real good on you, okay? So be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Because it's gonna be smelling real good. You're gonna be like, wait a minute now. And then what you gotta do, see, honey, you gotta walk outside your house and then walk back in. You can smell your food outside. That's how good it's gonna be smelling. Your neighbor's gonna be wondering what's going on over there. What you got going on, honey? All right, I'm just taking a little measuring cup and putting a little flour in here. About half a cup. And then I'm also going to add in about 1/4 cup of my cornstarch, just so you know. Why isn't my cornstarch open already? I do not know. Ooh, that's too hard to open. Let me get something to cut this thing. Ooh, there you go. All right, about a 1/3, 1/4 cup of cornstarch. There we go. All right, now first we're going to cook these onions for a few minutes, okay? Not for long, but you can cook yours as long as you want, because they're going to get soft as they're sitting in that gravy, right? So now you got all the flavor in your pan from them pork chops, honey, frying up. All them seasonings. You got that butter in there. And now you got the flavor of these wonderful onions. So you know it's smelling good. Okay. And we got to get our mixture ready. So you could do one of two things. You can add a liquid to this. Like I'm going to add, you could do two things. You can add it into the skillet and let it combine with your oil and your butter, and it'll get moistened, and then you add in either water or chicken broth or whatever broth you want, or water, or you can mix this with the liquid. Okay. So I have some chicken broth. And I'm going to put some of this in here, and I'll show you what it looks like. But I just wanted to let you know the couple of ways you can do this. And there's other ways too, I'm sure. But this is the easy way. And it still be good. So I put about that much in there. So not much. And we're going to combine this together. And I just started off with a 1/2 cup of flour and the 1/4 cup of cornstarch, roughly estimate, just to see how thick it'll be. And you just want to get it nice and blended. You don't want nothing clumpy. Now before I pour that in there, make sure you have a liquid nearby that you can add in some water or something, because it's going to thicken up real quick. I need some water. I still got a little chicken broth, but I'm going to grab some water just in case. liquid to even this out. So I'm gonna go down to a medium heat because I was on a number 6. Those onions look beautiful and they smell so good. And now we're gonna pour that mixture in here. And no matter what, you can always thicken your gravy or make it, you know, less thick. Thin it out, you know what I'm trying to say. So you see how when you pour this in, it's getting thick already? That's why you need your water. Or your chicken broth, whatever you're gonna use. And you just wanna stir it in a little bit at a time. Don't worry about anything, it's all gonna blend together. And don't worry about the color right now, just follow me. And we're gonna cover everything. Pour it a little bit at a time. I didn't want to use my wire whisk on y'all because I would have to mute you. But you're gonna see. It smells so good, y'all. Woo! And all those, like, it's not even a clump, but it's like still kind of thick. The cornstarch and everything is going to thin out as it cooks. But we got to get it mixed through first. And then it'll combine itself. And you're going to watch it right before your eyes. Now, I don't want to go too thin. Then I'm going to have to thicken it back up. So you want to get to a certain point where you know it's thick enough. Let me see. Because I know once that dissolves in, it's going to be a little thicker. Okay, so that was good. That's enough. I don't need any more water. Okay, we're going to give this just a few minutes. Let me move this over here. This is going to come together and start combining, as you'll see. We're going to brown our gravy, and I'll show you how we're going to do all of that. Thank you, Tabitha. And it's really good. If you just taste your gravy like this, I mean, it's not all the way done, but if you just taste it, it has all this flavor in it, even though it doesn't look like it, okay? But remember, looks can be deceiving. So don't judge it yet. And this is gonna be thick, so. All right, now, since this is pretty much gravy already, we're gonna add a little bit of our beef broth base. And I told you all, grab some of this from Walmart. It's really cheap. It's under $3. It will last you and last you and last you. Those oxtails that went viral. What else? My neck bones that went viral. All that stuff, I'm using just this beef broth base. Literally, if you toss your meat in this seasoning, you don't need a whole lot. Coat it with a little olive oil or vegetable oil, honey, and bake it or whatever you're doing. It does wonders. It has such a great flavor. So we're going to toss this in. And add that flavor in. Feel free to use the pork. Now this gravy is thick. I don't want to have to add no more liquid. The child may be too thick. Let's see. Let's see, it's still thickening up. I told y'all we did a half cup of flour and a third cup of cornstarch. Let's see. We may have to. It's still kind of trying to thicken up on me. Let's see, I could use the rest of my chicken broth. It smells so good. Like, so good. And you can see how thick it is just by me moving the gravy. I mean, it's thick. Okay, let me see. Yeah, the beef broth base is good. Yeah, get you some. Use a stick of butter, a half. Oh, okay, she's telling somebody what else they can use. Awesome. Thank you for sharing those tips in the comments. Definitely help each other out. Help me out too. Okay. So this is nice and thick. Now this is gonna cook together for a few minutes before we add in our chops. Now the other thing that I had was just a little bit of my adobo. I don't think I really need much of that. I put a few dashes in there, but this gravy is thick. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. It smells delicious. And I think this is the right thickness for the gravy. This is what it's gonna be. So after a few minutes, it'll reach the point where it's gonna stay. So at one point it kept thickening up and thickening up. That's why I had to add more chicken broth, but you can get it to where you want it to be. You can have thinner gravy or you can have thicker gravy. It's really up to you. So you just wanna taste it and see if it's, you know, whatever you need in your gravy. I just know mine is good. No, let me just be, I can't have any right now. So I have to have one of the kids taste it, so. What am I missing? I put a little black pepper. I'm gonna put a little bit more black pepper in it. That's what I was looking for. But that is one of the ways you can make an easy gravy, very tasty, and we have all this flavor in the pot. You watch me make it. And so now we can put our chops in it. I may not put all of them. I don't know if all of them gonna fit, y'all. Gotta make them fit. So now we're gonna have this flavor, honey, cooking together. And it's just gonna be amazing. Let's see if I can get that one in the middle. I got one that ain't gonna fit, so I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna put some gravy on them chops. We got one pork chop left. I'll let the kids eat that. And let's get a little spoon and we have onions, chopped onions. And what else is in the gravy? It's just onions. I didn't put peppers or anything, of course. And I went right to the store after church, you all, and forgot the peppers. So we got our onions. And I'm gonna bring y'all up close so y'all can see this up close and personal. You said, did I go to Sunday school? No, I did not. We don't have Sunday school. All right, you all, so let me show you the rest of everything. Hold on, I dropped my thingamabobber for my camera. Let me turn this down because it should not be boiling or bubbling. So I'm going to turn these chops down and simmer those. We're going to simmer that for a while. I'm going to cover it. And then we have our green beans, which I had whole and cut. So I just cooked them in my green seasoning and some butter. And I'll show you that green seasoning. If you don't have any, you need to get some. I be trying to tell y'all. Only costs about $1. $1 and something. Grab you some of this the next time you're at Dollar Tree or Walmart. Grab you some green seasoning. Screenshot that. You'll thank me later. Okay? That's good for your green beans and stuff. And then we have our rice. Okay, so everything is ready to go. And what I'll do is when the pork chops are done simmering down, I will post a finished product. Okay? So thank you guys for hopping on. I am going to, y'all, I made some coffee when I started this live, and my coffee has been sitting there the whole time. So I hope you all had a great day. I will post a finished product. Thanks for hopping on. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you soon. Chris said he got the same green seasoning. I'll go back and see your comments because I know I missed a lot of them. So Accept my apologies. I was cooking and I could not see everything. Cindy said I cooked this. All right, love you guys.